This recipe comes straight out of the East Indian cookery book, one of my mom's favorite treasures and now mine. It's filled with my mom's notes and I decide to try a typical EI ball curry. Spices are roasted together with coconut and made into a wonderful paste. Enhanced with coconut milk, the meatballs are simmered to make this delicious gravy. This recipe has been modified from the original to make it more practical to prepare. This East Indian cookery book is an oldie but a goldie, and it has all of the secrets. Hi everyone, I'm Ahmed. Today on Cravings Food Adventures, I'm going to be taking one of the recipes out of this book and we're going to be making an East Indian style meatball curry. I knew this curry was going to be great because my mother had marked it with her famous good on it. And so I decided to try this for myself. Meatballs are simmered in a gravy made with poppy seeds and peanuts and coconut, and it's absolutely delicious. Before I go any further with this recipe, do be sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure to ring that bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Now, let's get cooking. All great curries start with a great base. I have a few spices here. 4 Kashmiri Chillies, I'm just going to take the stems off. 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 3 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 1 tablespoon of peanuts, 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, 6 garlic cloves. I have a 1-inch piece of ginger, I've just sliced this. 3 teaspoons of poppy seeds, also called khus in Hindi, and 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds. I'm just going to turn the heat on and I'm going to allow these spices to lightly roast just to wake up the flavors. This smells really good now, so I'm just going to take it off the heat and allow it to cool. I'm also going to roast a half cup of shredded or grated coconut. Allow this to cool as well. In my food processor, I'm going to add all of the spices and add a half teaspoon of turmeric. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of gram flour, also called Chana ka atta. The recipe calls for roasted chana, but since I didn't have that on hand, I've used the ground version instead. I'm going to follow this with the coconut, and I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of water and start to process it. This is still coarse, so it's going to need another half cup of water. I'm going to need to reuse the processor jar, so I'm just going to remove everything, leaving behind 1 tablespoon of this spice paste. To this, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of shredded or grated coconut, and I'm going to process this again. I have 500 grams, this is 1 pound and 10 ounces of lean ground beef here. You can also use mutton mince. The original recipe called for half of this amount, but I felt that more meat could be accommodated with the same amount of gravy. Add salt to taste, 1 tablespoon of finely minced garlic, followed by 1 tablespoon of finely minced ginger. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of finely minced green chili. Next, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of finely minced onion. I'm also going to add 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of chopped coriander leaves, followed by a tablespoon of chopped mint leaves. Add a squeeze of lime juice and the spice paste. This is 1 tablespoon of the spice paste we reserved earlier and 1 tablespoon of coconut. I'm going to scrape this all in and go in with my clean hands to mix everything together. Make sure you take your time to mix all of the ingredients in well together. As always, it's very important to do a little taste test to check for seasoning. This tastes perfect, so I'm now going to start making little golf-sized balls and keep them aside. I'm now ready to start frying. I have a plate of regular all-purpose flour here. This is about a half cup of all-purpose flour, and I'm just going to roll my meatballs in them. I'm going to be shallow frying these as there is no need to deep fry them, as they will cook in the gravy later. Flour gives the meatball exterior some sturdiness, and it's recommended by the cookbook, but if you prefer to make this gluten-free, you can just leave the flour out. I'm just going to brown these meatballs on all sides. Don't worry if they're not cooked all the way, just remove them and keep them aside. I've cleaned up my pan or my karahi and I've added some fresh oil. I have 1 cup of cubed potatoes here. I'm just going to brown these on all sides till they're about half to 3/4 of the way cooked. Once done, I'm just going to remove them and keep them aside. In the same oil, I'm going to add 5 to 6 curry leaves. I wish you could just smell this, the fragrance is amazing. Add 1 cup of diced onion, followed by 1 cup of diced tomato. I'm just going to put the lid on and I'm going to allow these tomatoes to get soft and mushy. The tomatoes are looking good. I'm just going to squish them with the back of my spoon. I'm going to add in all of the reserved paste and mix this well together. Next, I'm going to add in 400 ml of canned coconut milk, and I'm just going to gently fold everything together. In the original recipe, this calls for using fresh coconut milk. This is made by grinding fresh coconut and straining it, but I like to use canned coconut for convenience. It's starting to bubble, so I'm just going to put a lid on it and allow the flavors to melt together. I've added 1.5 cups of water to my food processor, and I'm going to add that in. Keep the heat low now and add salt to taste. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tamarind paste and I'm going to mix this well and continue cooking this for just a little bit longer. Now I'm going to slowly insert the meatballs in, and once they're all in place, I'm going to add in any of the leftover juice from the meatballs. I'm also going to add the potato cubes. I'm going to cover this and let it cook. I'm just going to let this boil for a few minutes so the flavor from the meatballs enhance the gravy and the meatballs are fully cooked. Garnish with 1 tablespoon of chopped coriander and 1 tablespoon of chopped mint leaves, and this is ready to eat. Thank you so much for joining me on Cravings Food Adventures. I hope you enjoyed this delicious recipe for East Indian meatball curry. It is a different meatball curry than all the others that I've made before, as it's made with some really unique ingredients. If you love this recipe, do give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and make sure that you're subscribed and you've rung the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And do share them videos with your family and friends so they can enjoy it as well. And be sure to follow me behind the scenes on all of my social channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Until I see you next time, do take care.